I still remember that night like it was yesterday. The night my whole world shifted because of a ballroom full of strangers, a billionaire with ice in her veins, and the courage I never thought I had left. It started at the Crestview Hotel, the kind of place you only see in magazines. Gold chandeliers, marble floors, tuxedos pressed so sharp they could cut glass. I didn't belong there, not really, but my little girl Emma had been twirling around our tiny living room for days, practicing her curtsy, so when the invitation landed in my lap, I couldn't say no. She was 7, still clutching the stuffed rabbit her mama gave her before she passed. I figured why not give her one night where she felt like a princess. We walked in eyes wide, hearts racing, and somehow ended up at the front table, the one everyone was whispering about. I didn't know it was reserved for the billionaire herself, Victoria Lang, the woman who practically owned half the city. She showed up in a red gown that probably cost more than my truck diamonds, blazing, her eyes sweeping the room like she was the queen of it all. When she saw me and Emma at her table, she didn't smile. She smirked. "Excuse me," she said to the server, her voice like broken glass. "I think there's been a mistake. This table is for people who matter." Then she looked straight at me, her gaze dropping to the oil stains on my knuckles that soap never quite washes away. "What do you do, sir?" "Fix mufflers. Change tires. This isn't a soup kitchen. It's a $500,000 donor event. Do you even comprehend that number?" The whole room went quiet. Forks froze midair. And my little girl, my sweet Emma, squeezed my hand so hard I could feel her shaking. I saw the tears welling in her eyes, saw her clutch that rabbit like it could protect her. And something in me snapped. I stood up my chair, scraping the marble so loud it cut through the silence. I'm not a tall man, not the type to tower over anyone, but that night, with every eye on me, I felt 10 feet high. "My daughter," I said, steady as steel, "will never be taught that her place is beneath anyone. She'll know that her worth isn't measured by the numbers in a bank account or the label on her dress, but by how we treat people when we've got the power to hurt them." You want to talk about numbers? I held my wife's hand while cancer ate her alive. I sold everything we had just to buy her a few more months. Her hospital bills tripled what this dinner costs. So don't tell me I don't understand value. The most valuable things in this room can't be bought. Gasps, whispers, even the mayor looked like he'd swallowed his tongue. I bent to lift Emma from her chair, ready to leave with whatever dignity we had left when something happened I didn't see coming. Victoria Lang laughed. Not the cruel kind of laugh she'd opened with, but something softer, like she'd just discovered a secret. She put a hand on Emma's shoulder, and for the first time her voice lost its edge. "Stay," she said. "Both of you. Please." And just like that, the Ice Queen melted, at least for one night. She spent the whole dinner talking to Emma about unicorns, stuffed animals, and whether fries counted as vegetables. She ordered chicken fingers for her while the rest of the room ate dishes with names I couldn't pronounce. People stared, whispered, but Victoria didn't care. She laughed at Emma's jokes, even covered for her when she spilled water. I didn't trust it. I'd seen too much fake kindness in my life. But then she slipped me a note on the way out. "Some lessons are worth learning. Thank you." The next morning, someone had posted my speech online. It spread like wildfire. Reporters camped outside my apartment. Folks at the shop started whispering. Some called me brave. Others said I used my daughter for attention. I just wanted life back. But life had other plans. 3 days later, a silver Aston Martin rolled up outside my garage. Out stepped Victoria Lang, heels clicking against the oil-stained concrete, looking like she'd wandered onto the wrong movie set. She didn't come with cameras or her entourage. Just her. "If you're here for an oil change," I told her, wiping grease off my hands, "you'll need an appointment." She smiled, a real smile this time. I deserve that. Actually, I deserve worse. Then Emma ran out squealing, "Princess Lady, you came back." She dragged Victoria to our break room, showed her crayon drawings, even asked for help on math homework. And to my shock, Victoria knelt down in her $1,000 suit and started counting French fries to explain subtraction. That was the start. She kept coming back. Sometimes she brought lunch from fancy restaurants. Sometimes she just sat on a plastic chair and listened to Emma chatter. And slowly, against my better judgment, I started to see her differently. She wasn't just the woman who'd humiliated us. She was someone carrying her own scars. Her mother gone too soon, her father colder than winter, a lifetime of thinking love was weakness. Then came the day I saw the blueprints spread across her office table. A $3 billion energy deal, her legacy project. I used to design systems like that before Sarah got sick. My gut twisted as I read the specs. Corners cut, numbers fudged. If they built it, people would die. I told her. She didn't want to believe me, but she checked. And when every independent review came back confirming what I'd seen in minutes, she realized I'd saved her company and thousands of lives. She offered me money, a fat consulting contract. I told her no. Not everything has a price, Victoria. Sometimes you help because it's the right thing to do. That hit her harder than any boardroom fight ever could. Weeks later, at another one of her events, a fire broke out, faulty wiring, smoke everywhere. We were near the exit when I realized Emma had slipped back to grab her rabbit. I ran into the black haze without thinking. Found her coughing, clutching that rabbit, but the hallway was blocked by fire. I thought we were done until Victoria burst in wielding a fire extinguisher like she'd trained for this. She cleared a path, led us down 20 flights of stairs, her designer suit in tatters, her hair a mess, but her eyes blazing with something real. On the sidewalk, wrapped in foil blankets, Emma asleep against my shoulder. Victoria sat next to us, hands trembling. "You came after us," I whispered. "Of course I did," she said, and for once she didn't sound surprised at herself. The next morning she stood in front of the press. No makeup, no armor, just her. And she admitted everything. That she'd humiliated a mechanic and his daughter because she thought power meant cruelty. That we taught her strength isn't about making people small, but lifting them up. She said Emma reminded her what joy looks like. She warned every reporter in the room to leave us alone or be banned from her world forever. From that day, Victoria changed. She raised wages in her company, cut off deals that would hurt workers, even showed up at Emma's school play where my girl played tree number 2. And somehow, we became family. Not in a fairy tale way, not in a storybook kiss, but in grilled cheese sandwiches burned in my kitchen, in math homework spread across the garage table, in quiet nights, where grief didn't feel so heavy, because she was there. A year later, we walked into that ballroom again. This time through the front door, with our names on the invitation. I wore a tux I actually owned. Emma wore a brand new dress, but she still carried her rabbit. And when Victoria arrived, she didn't sweep in like royalty. She walked beside us hand in hand. Right in the middle of dinner, Emma piped up, her voice ringing clear. "Victoria, are you going to marry my daddy?" The whole table froze. I nearly choked on my wine. Victoria, speechless for once, looked at Emma, then at me. She didn't give the easy answer. She just said, "I don't know, sweetheart. But we're family now, the 3 of us. Is that okay?" Emma grinned, rabbit in her arms. "He thinks that's perfect." And in that glittering ballroom where it all began, I realized the truth. Sometimes standing up in the face of cruelty doesn't just change how people see you, it changes them too. So let me ask you, what do you think? Was Victoria just another rich woman trying to clean up her image, or did she truly change? Have you ever seen someone with power transform because they were called out? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear if you'd trust her or walk away. Because sometimes the real fight isn't about money or status. It's about teaching the world what real worth looks like.